came from, but like I could care less if this stopped right here, right now. Like it doesn't, I'm not really super involved. So like if you want this to be a thing, like if you want me to keep making jewelry, like you just take it from here. And it just did. Like from then until now, 3 years later, like it just kept growing. Like people just kept buying things. And it was just kind of like, I was just kind of like, well, why would I stop if this is growing? And like, obviously the Lord has a plan for it. So as it was growing, I was just praying and praying and praying, like, okay, what is this for? I don't think it's really just to fund my mission trips. And so last summer, I was interning in the Dominican Republic at a shelter for human trafficked victims and prostitutes. And so that whole time that I was working there, I was just like praying over what the Lord wanted to do with my life and with Alabaster. And I saw a really big need at the specific shelter that I was at to get the kids of rescued women education, because like most prostitutes or trafficked girls will have kids. Like they don't really there's no like health care for them in that situation, and they're having sex like all day every day, like they're forced to. So you can imagine, like they're probably gonna have babies. So in order to like stop the cycle, education is just a really good preventative thing for trafficking, so that it's not like the mom is now having kids who are then gonna go into trafficking and then have kids who are then gonna go. Do you see what I'm saying? So I really felt like the Lord was telling me, hey, I want you to give 50% of your profits to that, to prevent trafficking, by stopping the cycle, by donating to give these kids education. And then my company also, so that's like the broad spectrum, like 50% is to prevent trafficking. But I also have this kind of like holistic perspective of, this isn't just like, my company isn't really unique. Like there are a lot of other companies who do what I do. And so the cool thing is though that it's universal, and like it's, for some reason the Lord is sparking all of these businesses to help trafficked victims and to proclaim his gospel, or at least that's what mine does. So I don't want to just say that my company is great. I also want to fund and donate to other companies. So that's why I have a specific collection for Lighthouse for Life, where I donate money to their care shelter. And as my company grows, hopefully I'm going to be able to add more and more collections, just because it's a huge, the idea is that we are a huge interweaved body of people just doing the same thing, led by the same Spirit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what inspired you to start it? I think you already
I think I
answered that.
everything.
If you want to say a short answer for that.
I was inspired to start my business because I wanted to start going on mission trips.
Okay, that's fun. I want to do that too. Okay, how many organizations does your company help?
So right now I donate to 2 specific organizations, Lighthouse for Life and the Lily House, which is the shelter in the Dominican Republic.
Ooh. Per cell, how many people are being helped? How many victims are being helped?
I don't have that specifically calculated, but I do know that Lighthouse for Life's care shelter, I think Jen was telling me they are trying to house 3 girls at first, but I don't know for sure, so maybe don't quote me on that. But and then at the Lily House, when I was there was about 10 kids who needed scholarship money for education. So they're going to those specific individuals, but the money is more so going to a systematic approach of just scholarship money and shelters.
Do you get any profit from this, or do you donate every income you get?
I don't get any profit right now. Well, I mean, personally I don't. My company does. What I do is the profit that I get, the net profit after calculating costs and everything like that, the money that I actually make from the jewelry, I give 50% of that, and then the other 50% just goes straight into the business, because since I am so new, I'm just kind of, and because I don't have any business experience, I'm just focusing on making a solid foundation for Alabaster and like building up the company to be growing like continually, and then hopefully I'll be able to give myself a salary next year.
What are your opinions about human trafficking?
That's horrible. My opinion.
Like, what do you think about it?
I think that human trafficking is a deeper issue than just trafficking, because the thing is, like, it's millions of girls who are being trafficked, and so like multiply that number by like hundreds or thousands, and that's the number of people who are purchasing services from these girls. So it's a much bigger problem than just the number that we see of like the enslaved population. And so that's like really depressing and really sad. I think it's just, I mean, look at the media, like listen to the songs on the radio, like all of them are sexualized. Like women in media and on TV are all over sexualized, and it's like seeping into our brains and our hearts. And I think that it's a problem for every person, not just the people who are directly, like, even if you've never been sexually assaulted, never been through any kind of trauma like someone who's a victim of trafficking, I would say like we're still living in the same world with the same deep-rooted problem, and that it's something that everybody needs to fight. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one, where can we start as a community to help solve this issue?
As a community, I think really just awareness, because human trafficking, I mean, talking to Jen in Lighthouse for Life, like, you know, like human trafficking comes in all different forms, and it just looks different. Like, it could be like a suburban white mom who is in control of the brothel, or it could be like a 70-year-old woman who's a victim of trafficking. Like, it just looks different. And so if the community can start raising awareness, and I think that prevention would be a lot easier, because more people would be aware of the issue and more on guard, and hopefully wouldn't get involved in it as much.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.